So I will convene the meeting and indicate for the record that we do not have a quorum. In fact, I'm the only one here on the council. And due to some scheduling issues, we will not be holding our closed session until after the regular meeting. So where we would normally have gone into a closed session at this time, we will do that at the end of the regular council meeting. So at this point, for those of you who are signed on as attendees, the public comment period will be after we start the regular meeting at 7 o'clock, at which time we expect to have all of our council members present. So with that, we will recess until 7 o'clock. And we'll see you back here then.
Click slideshow. I did on the top from this side. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I think I got it now.
Yeah.
I was looking for it and it was, yeah, from the beginning.
Oh no, from the slide. You got it. Just,
Yeah. I should have it. I think I just did it a different way.
There you go.
Okay. So everybody's set until 7 o'clock.
Yep.
Right? Now what? Oh, thank you, Paul.
Oh, your microphone's on.
Yes, he just sent me a text. I got to.
Very good. Thank you. Welcome everyone to our 7 o'clock regular public meeting for July 7th of 2020. As those of you who were in our audience at 5:30 know, we moved our closed session to the end of the regular public meeting tonight. So we will commence with the regular public meeting now. I'm calling the meeting to order. Indicate for the public that all members of the council are present. Mala, do you need a roll call specifically? We can see all 5 members.
No, I think that's fine.
We're good. Okay. I've talked to all of them. So, Jim, would you please say the Pledge of Allegiance for all of us, please?
I am happy to do that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. The first item on our agenda tonight is the consent calendar. There are the minutes of 2 meetings and the financial demands. Are there any questions or concerns or anything anyone wants to pull, or do I have a motion?
I'll
move.
approval.
Okay, I got a motion from, I believe, from Diaz and a second by Catalano.
Mayor Pierce, before you have a vote, it looks like we have one member of the attendees raising their hand. I don't know if it's for this
You're
item.
right. So Dana and Kathy Seaman, is this a question about the consent calendar?
No, my question is about who is attending this meeting, not just our council people, but who in our public space is attending this meeting. Can you name them?
Sure, I can do that. I will do that as soon as we're done with this item. And then I will list the people who are the attendees at that time. So, all right. So Janet, would you please call the roll for the consent calendar?
Absolutely, Mayor Pierce. Councilmember Catalano?
Aye.
Councilmember Diaz?
Yes.
Councilmember Wolf?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Juan?
Here. Or aye.
And,
Same thing.
and Mayor Pierce.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and to answer the request by our member of the public, we have Dana and Kathy Seaman, Clifford Seaholm, Holly Tillman, Jill Borbely, Marcia Tomey, Matt Foley, Matt Tillman, Nancy Top, Samantha Sexton are all listed as attendees. We also have staff members who are signed in. We have our tech staff and our assistant to the city manager, who is our acting city manager currently, Laura Hoffmeister. We have our city clerk, Janet Calderon, and our city attorney, Mala Subramanian. We have our community development director, Matthew Fesky.
I just saw Steve Pierce walk through the hallway. Does that count?
No.
No.
No, he's ignoring me. But I get at least a little air circulation through the room if I keep the door open. So pardon if he passes. He'll remain distant. So those are the attendees this evening. The next item on the agenda is to go to reports. Neither the Planning Commission nor the Trails and Landscaping Committee held meetings. So city staff, Laura, any reports from city staff tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. I had provided to the council as part of your council weekly, and I don't have it in front of me, but the statistics from the police chief regarding parking enforcement out on Regency Drive, and the highlight of it is that the number of violations continues to decline, a combination of probably the hot weather and the dryness of the vegetation. People, it's not the springs and the beautiful wildflowers out there, so they will continue to monitor that. We've had signs that have been removed, and we keep replacing them out there as needed to ensure that we can provide proper enforcement.
Okay, very good. Any other reports from staff? Anything from you, Matthew, before your item on the agenda?
Nothing tonight.
Just that one. Okay, very good. Then we will go to city council reports. Jim?
Actually, nothing official with the responsibilities, but I did attend a meeting out on Morgan Territory Road with some concerned citizens out there that are looking to somehow come up with a volunteer fire brigade or response team, and trying to keep them at least maybe some liaison to Con Fire, and that was basically it.
Yeah, they've got some real concerns with East County Fire out there, and fortunately CAL FIRE is close, but it's not the same as having a real fire department that's focused on them. So, all right, CW?
Well, it's been a long time since we gave reports, so I don't know how far back we want to go, but I'll just take a shot at it here.
Last meeting of Tuesday the 23rd. That was our last official meeting.
Okay, well, it's been a long time with the Race Relations Committee kind of going over the upcoming race relations seminar that's coming up, or webinar that's coming up actually this Thursday at 7 o'clock, and I know a lot of people are interested in that, and they're going to be putting out a contact information with regard to registration information on how to get in on that, and I'll be putting that out on various media, and I'm sure everybody else will as well. It's very important that people attend that. I think that's going to be a great Q&A and a chance for people to get some understanding about what's going on with regard to race relations in Clayton. And so don't be afraid, join in. Also helped with the recovery efforts on the Peacock Creek vandalized entrance sign, which has been fixed, which I appreciate. And Laura Hoffmeister and Mr. Warburton are to be congratulated for getting that done so quickly. And worked on the 4th of July virtual parade with Commissioner A.J. Chippero, and that turned out to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad it seemed to be very well received. So other than that, I think that's my report.
Very good. Thanks, CW. Jeff?
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't have a report this week.
Okay, Tuya?
So on Friday, June 26th, I had the East Contra Costa County Habitat Conservancy Board meeting, also obviously virtual at this point. And then I also have been part of many of the discussions and meetings regarding the upcoming webinar on race relations, and definitely recommend, as Councilmember Wolf said, for everybody to tune in on Thursday at 7 o'clock. And that's it.
Thanks, Tuya. And I would just comment that the webinar that people are referring to is one that is sort of an organic meeting that's been generated through the public. Members of the public are putting this together. It's kind of a loose group who have put that together. They've invited our comments as some of us as council members, but only as members of the community. We are not at this point planning anything to come back to the council. So it's not a Brown Act issue any more than attending a CBCA function would be. So this is a completely separate group that is putting this together and looks like doing a really good job of it. I would report that you may have noticed we got the banners up for our census challenge. That was suggested to us by the one of the census folks that's working on that. We have a challenge with the city of Piedmont. The city of Piedmont right now has the highest percentage response in the state. The city of Clayton is number 2. So we are challenging them to get a higher response. We put up some banners. So please encourage people. I will be sending out an email and posting on Facebook and some of those things. We would really like to get the highest response rate, partly because then we'd win our bet with the city of Piedmont, but also because the higher our response is, the more money we get back from the feds and the state for the city of Clayton. And that's really important, as you all know from looking at our budget. The more money we can get returned to the city, the better. So that's what that Census Challenge banner is all about, and we want to win that challenge. So I had an inordinate number of meetings. The Association of Bay Area Governments and Metropolitan Transportation Commission continue to meet on governance and how we can merge our committees together in meetings to make things more efficient for our staff. We have one staff for the 2 agencies, so we're trying to blend as much as we can. So we have had 2 of those meetings, and we've had, I attended the ABAG webinar, which was talking about planning for the arena for the Bay Area. That actually is a posted webinar. If you have questions about how the regional housing needs assessment is going, that would be a good one to watch. It was an hour and a half. It was very well done. I also made a presentation that same night to the East Bay League about RENA and how that's being done this year. I'm trying to skip through here. We had a California Council of Governments board meeting last Wednesday. And I think that's all for this last 2 weeks. So we will then go to, I got everybody right? Yeah. Okay. Any other reports that you know of, Laura?
No, there's none, Mayor.
Okay, very good. Then we will go to public comment. We have 11 attendees right now, and Cliff Seaholm has raised his hand to speak under public comment. Laura, can you get him unmuted? There he is. Cliff?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening. My request for the Clayton City Council is to issue a proclamation against racism. Let me explain why I believe issuing this proclamation is so important. I've made Clayton my home for 18 years, and I consider myself a white man of privilege, though I'm really just getting a fuller understanding of what that means. I was raised in a largely white suburb of Chicago. I was in junior high school when Martin Luther King was assassinated. My reaction at the time was that the rioting and the looting that followed was not good, but I really didn't understand the basis for all the rage. I was 36 years old when Rodney King was badly beaten by the LAPD. My reaction was, wow, that was an excessive use of force. This time I understood the rage, but to my shame, I did nothing. I'm now 65 years old, and in rapid succession, Ahmaud Arbery was lynched while jogging, Breonna Taylor was killed by police in her bed, George Floyd was murdered on the streets of Minneapolis by police. The George Floyd murder was my personal, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore moment. Why now? I don't know. Why not now? As an individual, I've been facing up to my own racism. I've always said I'm not a racist, but what does that even really mean? I now know that it's not enough to not be a racist. I must be an anti-racist. You don't go around saying, well, I'm not a child abuser. You are anti-child abuse. I'm examining the racism inside me and working to eliminate it. I'm also working to address racism in our community. My first step was participating along with my wife in the June 5th Black Lives Matter March, and I thank the members of the City Council for attending this protest. As individuals address their racism, so must cities. I'm asking the City of Clayton to take a stand against racism. To do nothing in the face of racism is to be racist. It's being complicit. Clayton is a great city. I've always talked it up. In a more normal year, we would have just had a wonderful July 4th parade. We'd have a Labor Day soapbox derby, Oktoberfest, concerts in the Grove. We have so much to be proud of. However, as a community, we also have issues that we must confront. Last year, Clayton made the news for a racist sandwich shop. More recently, Clayton made the news for the tear gassing of young peaceful protesters. I don't believe either of these things are what we want Clayton to be known for. And if you don't believe there's a division in our community regarding racism, please spend a few minutes on Nextdoor. Thank you to Tuya for your Facebook post in response to the sandwich shop incident, where you said, there is no place in our community for hatred and bigotry. Now it's time for the entire council to take a stand. Setting up the ad hoc Public Safety Committee is a good step forward. More needs to be done. I urge you to issue a proclamation that Clayton condemns racism. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Cliff. We also had previously submitted 3 public comments from Melinda Marion, from Dee Vieira, and Nancy Top which echo somewhat similar sentiments. So we don't read those anymore, but they are entered into the public record. So, Tuya, did you want to respond? We do have another public speaker.
Yeah, just very quickly. So I did bring up last time that I wanted to bring forth a resolution condemning racism. And I'm sorry, it's not on today's agenda because with Friday having been a holiday, I only had a day and a half to work on it and I was busy for work. But I will bring it back for next council meeting.
Right. And I sent to you some of the information from some of the other agencies as well that have done an exceptionally good job on that. So we will go over that. And I see that Nancy Tupp is also on. So first, Scott Denslow, we'll unmute him and then we'll go to Nancy Tupp after that. Scott, you're on.
Yep. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So I'm glad to see that Dee's on board because I was just going to add, I didn't know you guys weren't reading those statements anymore. I'd like for them to, if possible, maybe not tonight, but at some point be read. I know that her and Melinda especially, really spent some time on those. So I hope they can be mentioned somewhere publicly and not just on the record. But I was just calling to say something else. I was really touched by what Cliff said a moment ago, and so I really want to officially just ask as a resident in the city to really fast track the proposals that were mentioned at the end of the last meeting. It's important to me as a white man of privilege in this town for us to recognize Juneteenth and also have a proclamation read by city leadership condemning racism. It was very powerful, honestly, when former Mayor Catalano stood up against racism recently and after Knesset as well. And we need the entire city leadership, as Cliff said, to step up and lead in this regard. Why now, as he said? I don't know. Why not now? That's the real question. So why not now, Clayton? The time has come and it's time to do the right thing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Scott. We'll go to Nancy Tupp. Nancy? We're getting you unmuted. Hang on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't know that we weren't having our comments read either, so I will read my comment. I'm grateful that Clayton is at last addressing racism within our community. I have been a Clayton resident for over 25 years and have seen firsthand how racist attitudes have kept people of color from feeling comfortable living here. Since Clayton is a part of the greater Bay Area, I am all the more troubled about Clayton's reputation of being racist. It is long overdue for Clayton to make changes and to welcome being a part of the diversity we are used to enjoying in the Bay Area as a whole. An additional concern of mine is the safety of all people in Clayton borders. Through the recent reaction to Black Lives Matter's protests, it has become obvious that there are a number of people in Clayton who feel the need to threaten gun violence to defend their properties. I would like to feel that the Clayton police, who have been legally authorized to protect our citizens and property, will not condone and will discourage such threats. I hope that the Public Safety Committee will address these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. And I don't see any other hands raised at the moment for public comment. So we will close the public comment period and go to our action items, which includes the setting of a public hearing. And I'm going to ask Community Development Director Matthew Pesky to please discuss this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. The item before you tonight is a request by staff to set a public hearing date no sooner than August 4th of 2020 to consider and adopt Ordinance 490, which would amend the Clayton Municipal Code, Chapter 15.09, essentially updating the fire code. The reason for the request is upon final review of the public hearing notice that was set to be published in the paper. It was found to be deficient due to lack of location of the meeting. So we pulled the notice before it got published to the paper. Therefore, this can be an action item by the City Council to set a new date. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions of Matthew? Or do we have a motion?
I will move.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that we make this public hearing for August 4th. Our first meeting in August. It can be no sooner than that, but I think that's an appropriate date. And so I am going to assume, Mr. Diaz, that your motion includes the date of August 4th to set the public hearing.
As stated in the recommendation, Madam Mayor, yes, correct.
Okay. Very good. Do we have a second?
Sure, second.
I'll second.
Okay, CW seconds. All in favor, Janet, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mayor Pierce. Councilmember Catalano?
Aye.
Councilmember Diaz?
Yes.
Councilmember Wolf?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Juan?
Aye.
And Mayor Pierce?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. The next item on the agenda is council items. This is limited to council requests and directives for future meetings. And I believe we have already said that we will have a resolution on our next regular meeting agenda, which is the 21st. So, Jim, I saw your hand raised.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have a request from a number of community members. We are, as you've noted, we did recognize the LGBTQ community in the month of June with both a flag and a proclamation, and now we're moving forward for recognition of the Juneteenth annual date for recognition of the emancipation. I'd like to bring up the issue and recommend for future discussion a flag raising for the Thin Blue Line. This is a issue that represents law enforcement, and the position, I guess, best way to say it is that it separates the things that we have to have done from the things that we do not wish to do and empower the police department to do. A number of them that they handle for us, including the least of which is handling disputes among citizens. It's a style that we enjoy in life, and we want to make sure that we can continue to be safe in our communities and recognize that and recognize our law enforcement. Yes, they have some issues that need to be addressed further down the line, but all in all, we have a good law enforcement department here in Clayton. Further, I'd like to include in that is that in case people do not recall, Officer Roger Lovell Scott. Roger was shot on duty while protecting Clayton and ultimately and unfortunately died of his injuries. This occurred less than a half a mile from our downtown area back in the late 70s. So this request to recognize law enforcement through the Thin Blue Line flag is not only to recognize Roger for his service and the department, but all law enforcement.
Okay, you could put together a report on that, Jim, and
yes,
we can put that on a future agenda.
I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I ask Jim just a clarifying question? So as you know, historically and originally the Thin Blue Line flag represented support for police officers, including I think sometimes first responders as well as fallen police officers. But I think recently the meaning of that particular flag to many represents something different. And I think there are many members of the community and our country who now view that flag also as representing the counter protest to BLM. Last month, for example, the San Francisco Police Chief, Bill Scott, specifically prohibited his police officers from wearing a face mask that had the blue tin flag because he was concerned that the flag would be seen as divisive and disrespectful. So I just want to bring to your attention that the meaning of that flag and how that flag is perceived has changed. I have no problem expressing support for our police officers, but I want to make sure that you understand by asking to fly that specific flag that you are also probably sending a different message to some other community members.
So we'll put that on an agenda for a future discussion. We're not going to have that discussion tonight.
Was that a question? I wasn't sure. It started with I have a question. So was there a question?
I would love for Councilmember Diaz to answer that. The understanding.
Can you repeat the question though?
Understanding how the meaning of that flag has changed and how some people may perceive it. Do you still intend to want to put forth a proposal to fly that flag?
Absolutely, because I have much more information and documentation that represent just the opposite of what you're suggesting to you. Not that it's divisive, but in support of, and not only law enforcement, but as you recognize,
okay.
First responders. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to stop the discussion.
I'll be silent. I'm
going to stop the discussion. I think we need to have this on an agenda for a future discussion.
Right.
Public Safety Month or Recognition Month, I believe, is in May.
Correct.
There's also Police Appreciation and a couple of other things in the spring. We will bring this back for a future agenda.
Thank you.
And I already have Jim. I already have on the agenda for recognizing Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes, that's the 15th of September.
Right.
Through.
I already have that on the list. Okay.
Correct, and I'm going to be preparing a draft of a resolution, or excuse me, a proclamation for that.
Perfect. Thank you. CW?
I had a nice conversation with Councilmember Diaz, and I think we both agree that we should talk about the possibility of commissioning a statue of Joel Clayton at the front of our entrance to our community. I don't know how that works, but maybe it's something we put forward down the road.
Okay, we'll add that to a future agenda. Somebody can start a fundraising effort. Maybe.
That's certainly possible.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And by the way,
I do want to. I mean, chime in here. You know?
I know. Well, let me just say CW and I had an excellent talk last Saturday, 4th of July, after the virtual parade. And we discussed a number of issues, and I thank him for that. And yes, Joel Clayton was one of the ones that came up, and potentially a statue or some sort of monument to him.
That was actually discussed when we planned the Grove Park, and the people that planned the Grove said no. But that's a future discussion. Okay. Anything else for future agendas? I see none. Hearing none, these are all on the list. And so I want to thank staff for their patience this evening. We are going into a closed session, and we will report back after that meeting is over in open session. So this Zoom meeting will stay open, and I will come back and report out from that. But we are now going to go into a closed session for the purpose of a public employment for an interim city manager that is pursuant to Government Code 54957. We are having a conference with labor negotiators. I am as the mayor and the representative, and the unrepresented employee will be a future interim city manager. And we hope to have an appointment for that on the next city council meeting. So we are now going into closed session. We will leave this Zoom meeting and attend another one set up by the city attorney. So Jeff, do you have the link for the one from Mala? You do. Everybody has the link from Mala for the closed session? Nodding heads?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. We'll see you all there shortly.
Mayor Pierce, I'm ready for you to report out.
All right. The council has just concluded a meeting in closed session. There was no reportable action. We are adjourned to our meeting on July 21st. Thank you all. See you in 2 weeks.